Hey, in today's video, I'm going to walk you through 3 different ways to start an LLC in Texas. But more important than that, I'm going to share crucial information that's going to help keep your new business safe and protected. So if you are not familiar with terms such as Commingling Funds, piercing the corporate veil, or registered agent, don't worry, I'm going to go through it all, but just know that these terms are super important and you're going to understand how they impact your LLC by the end of this video. The first way to start your Texas LLC is to go to the Texas Secretary of State website. You can find the link for the state site and any resources mentioned in the description below. And once you create an account, you can just go through the steps there to get your LLC set up. As you'd expect, the state site is not the prettiest or the easiest thing to navigate, but there are no fees involved except for the $300 state filing fee as of 2022. There is no way around that fee. You have to pay it whether you go direct through the state or an online legal tool or through an attorney. The pros of using the state site are that there are no markups or upsells. The downside is that it's just not laid out well for making the registration process easy. In fact, I think it's more confusing than it needs to be. One of the other downsides of the state site is that they do not help you keep your LLC compliant because the site lacks the ability to remind you of important updates and renewal reminders. I'll explain this further, but first, let's just talk about what an LLC actually is so that you understand how to maintain it properly. Some people think that there's this tax advantage to having an LLC over a sole proprietorship, and actually that's not true. The advantage of an LLC is in the name itself. It's going to help to limit your liability. So imagine your business and just all your assets. This could be the office, computers, your business bank accounts, and now on the personal side, you might have a home, a vehicle, personal bank account. So what the LLC is doing is it's drawing this line of division between those two asset classes. And that division is something called the corporate veil. So if somebody sues your business, they can try and come after your business assets, but the LLC and the corporate veil protect your personal assets, so they cannot come after your personal home or bank account. That is why an LLC is so important. Earlier, I mentioned something called piercing the corporate veil. So here's what that legal jargon means. It means if your business is sued, the attorney suing your business is going to try to find cracks in your LLC. And if they can find a crack, then they can pierce the corporate veil. When this happens, they can come after your business and personal assets. So that is why it is so important to not only set up an LLC, but you have to maintain it so that there are no cracks. Now, I'd like to explain why the state site just is not great for maintaining your LLC, and I'll give you a few examples. So a great service for setting up your LLC is a company called InkFile, and it's an online legal tool. You'll find a link in the description below, and that will take you to their site. We really appreciate that you use that link because it helps support the YouTube channel. The reason I like InkFile is that they have packages starting at $0 plus the state fee. But the package, even though it starts at $0, also has a perk, and that is that you get a free registered agent service for a year. This is the very first reason why I prefer this site over the state site. So now let's just dive into what a registered agent is. Every LLC is required to have a registered agent. They're sometimes called a resident agent, statutory agent, or agent for service of process. The registered agent has to have a physical address in the state your LLC is set up, and this person is there to help with important communication and documentation, such as franchise tax forms, notices of litigation, tax and legal correspondence, and required annual report forms. Basically, the registered agent helps keep your LLC compliant. Now, if you go through the state website, they just ask for the name and address of your registered agent without much context. If you go through InkFile, that service is free for the first year, and then it's $119 annually after that, and you're free to change or drop the registered agent service at any time. Now, another reason I like InkFile is that the state website does not help you with the federal aspects of your business. And here's a really good example of that. So your LLC is set up through your state, but an EIN business tax number is set up through the IRS. And you can think of the EIN as a social security number used to identify your business for tax purposes. So when you get set up through the state website, they do not help you get set up with an EIN number. And if you've never done it before, it's actually pretty confusing. So in the middle tier package on InkFile, they'll set up the EIN for you. I'll also include a link in the description below if you just want to set up your EIN yourself on the IRS website. I also want to highlight that they will set you up with a business bank account. This is really important to do from the beginning, and here's why. So not only is your bookkeeping and accounting going to be way cleaner and much easier, but you should also know if you run your business through your personal checking account, you are commingling funds. And that's because you have this personal cash flow and then you have your business cash flow all happening in the same account. This can create a crack in your LLC, which could lead to an attorney piercing the corporate veil and then coming after both your business and personal assets. So InkFile takes these things into consideration where the state site just sets up your LLC. The nice thing with InkFile is that your dashboard helps you not only set up your LLC, but maintain it and keep it compliant with annual reports or forms that need to be filed as well. On the screen here, you'll see a video that goes further into the dashboard and what it looks like after setting up your LLC. There will also be a video on how to pay yourself within an LLC. Again, thank you so much for using the links in the description below, and I will catch you in the next video.